Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 92.
Yeah, 92.
All right. I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you this Friday, Ja?
Surprisingly, I feel good, but I still feel tired.
I thought it was going to be finally a day where you don't say that, but of course, still feel tired.
I know you feel tired too, bro. Come on now, don't do this.
I'm actually feeling quite well. Less stressed. Got some stuff out the way. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Okay,
For everyone else, hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone will have a good day. Only 7 games from last night, but some really, really fun, entertaining basketball to get into. So let's get into it first, starting off with the rematch of the second round, in which the Clippers famously blew a 3-1 lead to the comeback kids from Colorado, Denver Nuggets, in the Denver Nuggets' second 3-1 lead comeback, an NBA record in a playoff run. So this was looking to be a fun battle. Well, not at first, because the Nuggets came out with all the energy, came out with all the hustle. Jamal Murray had himself a great game. Michael Porter Jr. Jokic was struggling, but in his struggles, the rest of the team kind of picked themselves up for him and for the Nuggets. As for the Clippers, Paul George, his first game back in a minute, he struggled as well, along with really the rest of the team, besides Terrence Mann and Kawhi Leonard. They're really struggling, and that was credit to the Nuggets defense and how well they played. But they couldn't contain the Clippers for too long. They are a championship contending team. They do have elite players, and they do have an elite team. And as you would expect from the Clippers, they got themselves back into this game in that third quarter, really, in that third and that fourth quarter. Hit some shots, got in rhythm, played tighter defense. And in a game in which the Nuggets were up by 18, the Clippers came back and brought it within single digits. But late in that fourth quarter, Jamal Murray caught. Jamal Murray caught fire. He got hot. And the Nuggets really tightened up defensively as the game was winding down, similarly to how it was in that first quarter, in that first half. As a result, it was the Nuggets picking up the victory, holding down the Clippers' comeback attempt.
It's like whenever you bring up Jamal Murray's name, nightmares for the Clippers just come back to them. But yeah,
Bubble Murray.
Bubble Murray, the deadliest man when it comes to the Clippers, man.
And Jazz.
And Jazz. But just like what you said, the Nuggets had despite the fact that Jokic was struggling in terms of the scoring category, the Nuggets had a really comfortable lead, being up 18. For majority of this game, they were in the double-digit leads, and the Clippers didn't really have much life except for 2 players that you just said, Kawhi and Terrence. And then you seen the ties start to change as that as that third quarter was coming down to a close, and that they was going into that fourth quarter. Things start to change. They start to look like the Clippers that, let's not say of old, of course, because sometimes there's been a lot of unfortunate mishaps in the past, but they were able to make it into a close game. But yet again, being the comeback kids of Colorado and being who they are, Jamal Murray, again, nightmares. And he was able to seal the deal for that Nuggets team.
Yeah, Jamal Murray has been really, really playing well. Remember in that initial start of the season, so I want to say what the first 25 games or so.
Yeah.
It wasn't seeing what we saw in the bubble.
Yeah.
We saw what he was before the bubble, which was a good player, could hit clutch shots down the stretch, but he wasn't as that offensive superstar that we saw.
Exactly.
And then after that, and for the past 2 months, he's really been stepping up his game.
Yeah, now we just need him seated. Now it's great to see him in this situation in which he's doing that. He's stepping up his game and being that star, that star that we know him he could be. But we just need to see it for a full season. We can't just see it for we can't just get like a mediocre Dollar Tree version of Jamal Murray in the first half, and then get a VIP right top point guard in the league kind of Murray in the second half. We need to see that second half Murray for like the whole season. We know we're gonna have your things here and there in which you're gonna have your struggles, but it's
I
better
agree
than
with you. Yes, but as famous line goes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And he seems to be finishing strong.
well, yeah, they
Stop. 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 Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Also about this Nuggets team, Aaron Gordon seems to be really fitting in really well. Like from the get-go, he's been fitting really well for this team. He's able to space out the floor well. He's been playing better. He's been playing actually pretty good defense.
Yeah.
He's been doing well. He had 14 points on the night, and if he keeps this up, he can really contribute to this Nuggets team come playoff time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
He's just he's a good plug-in, a perfect fit for this team that is stacked offensively already with a lot of good, talented, skilled guys. And again, when you're a person who could shoot the ball and move without the ball in their hands, I think that's a perfect fit when you're on the Nuggets, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. Nuggets taking the win. Also, one quick note before we move on to the next game about the Nuggets. One last thing. I just want to give more praise to Michael Porter Jr., who's been having himself a great season. I feel like guy getting talked about a lot for some reason. And everybody was talking about him last year about the potential he had. Now he's showing some of that potential. And I don't really see a lot being said.
The media is weird, man. Again, we talked about this even with Zion. People are he's dominating this season.
Betrayed Zion.
Exactly. Like, it's just like I don't know what's going on, but hey, man. Good job. Just good job by Michael Porter, man.
Yeah, but
that's all.
He's really been putting on the offensive scoring load for this team, also being a good rebounder as well. And he's also going to help them in the playoff time. We know that the potential we had coming from last year. We saw it. We saw spurts of it. So he needs to mature a little bit more.
Yeah.
But now he's doing all of that. And he's been a great addition.
Exactly. He has.
All right. Yes. The Nuggets taking the win, holding down the Clippers comeback attempt late in the game. All right. The other game early in the night, the Charlotte Hornets going up against the Brooklyn Nets and LaMarcus Aldridge. Nets debut, and he had himself a pretty good game. I say so. What? That's how he shoot?
Huh?
That's how he shoot?
Well, that's what it looked like.
That is something like his jump shot. I'm not gonna lie. That is something like his jump shot. But he's an old school player, old school type player, you know? Yeah. But in this game, he was stretching the floor out. He was shooting threes. He was getting his little post-up game as well. I like to see it. I like to see that from Aldridge. I really did. We don't really have to go deep into this game because the Nets just blew the Hornets out the water. I was very surprised with how the Hornets were playing and how this Nets team was just beating them. The Hornets were playing really well.
Yeah. And
the Nets just took that away from the get-go. I mean, good Lord. And no James Harden in this game. So we mentioned Aldridge. Kyrie had a good game. Jeff Green also stepped up. He had himself a good game. And yeah, this was just the Nets from start to finish.
Yeah, just like what you said. When you're a rising team like the Hornets and you start getting on your roll and your stride, sometimes you got to get hit with some humbleness. And basically, this was that game. They had to get hit with some humbleness. They've been going on a run, doing so well. And they just been dominated teams. And I'm not gonna say blowing them out the water, but giving them but they've been giving them a run for their money. Let's just say that. Really good teams, by the way. And they ran into, and they beat this Nets team, even though it looks kind of different now. They beat this Nets team earlier in the season. So this is
Kind of
just
different.
better a little bit.
It's kind of different, just a little bit different.
Then a whole lot of different. But
Okay.
like they this is their humbling moment. Like, sometimes you get that confidence. It's just like, you gotta calm down. It's like, things like this will happen. And I think that's what's just happened. They tried their best, but the Nets just had quadruple the amount of energy they had. So that's all that it was.
Yep, and that's all that needs to be said about that game. The
Right.
Brooklyn Nets absolutely dominating these Charlotte Hornets. But all right, like I said, there's other games around the league, and they were good. So, what game would you like to go into first? Well, most of them were good. What game would you like to go into first?
Yeah. The Heat versus the Warriors. Victor Oladipo,
Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo, and even though he didn't have like anything like a crazy stat line or anything, his
Yeah,
impact and production and the way he fits on his team was shown from the get go.
the Fourniers.
For what he was just doing, and believe it or not, he adds more of like a faster pace to this team. If you look at it with the way he is, because like he's a skilled two-way guard, but like he's he's a hyper athlete in a way.
Yeah.
So as a result, you could see the impact that he has from that standpoint. But this was just to be honest, this was like a close game, despite the fact that Curry didn't have one of the best moments in the beginning, and like it was just back and forth exchanges. But then as the fourth quarter hit, the Heat started to hit their stride, hit their lead, and they were able just to take the game from there.
Yep, he getting a big win against this Warriors team. He looking like now they're getting picking up a little bit more steam, having won 3 games in a row, coming off of that 6-game losing streak. Getting Oladipo now just seems to strengthen them up.
Yeah,
We see them as the 4th best team in this Eastern Conference, and they could be a danger to one of the top 3 teams if they
yeah,
face them in the playoffs. So
yeah.
I like to see that. He getting the win. Warriors losing this game. They need some wins to stay in that playing area. It's getting tight now. It's really getting tight in that playing scenario in the Western Conference. So yeah. But in the end, yes, the Miami Heat picking up the victory against the Warriors, despite Stephen Curry finished with 36, I believe. Yes, 36 on the night.
Yeah.
Next game.
The next game I want to talk about is the Hawks versus the Spurs, and let's just get into a double overtime game.
Double overtime game. The first one of the season?
Yep. The first one of the season. I don't think another double overtime game has happened this season. Yeah, first of the season, and it was just back and forth. It was mainly in those 2 overtimes. There's 3 players I'm going to highlight: Trae Young for the Hawks, and then for the Spurs, it was DeMar and Rudy Gay. DeMar being who he is, the best player on the team, the most clutch player on the team, and my favorite player, to watch. He was just balling. He was just straight up balling. I don't remember what he finished with the night, but I just know for a fact
DeMar finished with 36 on the night.
36. And then you have Rudy Gay, who was coming up with big clutch threes down the stretch too, along with others like Derek White. He had a big 3 and stuff like that, but it was just mainly him.
In OT.
In overtime. But yet with Trae Young, you just see he was doing most of his damage within those two like overtime periods. And even though he missed a big free throw that could have been ended the game a long time ago, he was able to make it back up.
Yes, very entertaining game, double overtime game. A lot of point production. Bang Dot Bogdanovich of the Hawks finished with 28 on the night. Clint Capella finished 28-17. You already mentioned Trae Young in his game. And also Derek White, who didn't have much of an impact in the overtime game. But leading up to that point in those first four corners, finished with 29. Yes, I was about to say 28, 29 on the night. So good job by this Hawks team. A really fun game. But like I said, in the end, it was the Hawks picking up the victory. And the last, I would say not least, but
the Magic versus the Pelicans. And to me, this game was just crazy, right? Because it's just like so many lead changes, and it looked like whenever the team had the lead, they got up to a good amount to a point where it looked like they were going to take over the game, and it kept going like that. And I'm just like, wait, hold on, time out. One moment I seen the Pelicans up 10, then the next thing, oh, you know, the Magic are up by 20, and then the Pelicans are up by 10 the next moment. It's just like, what's going on? And it came down to the wire in which Alexander Nickeil Walker, who I believe finished with
31 on the night.
31 on the night, he came up with a big shot to send it into overtime. And it was basically him and Terrence Ross within that overtime period, just exchanging bucket after bucket after bucket, big shot after big shot. And yet the Magic was due to with Wendell Carter, Terrence Ross, they were able to close it out in that overtime period.
Yeah, Wendell Carter finished big. Probably best game of the season. I want to say I can't remember if he had that great of a game when he was in Chicago, but finished with 21 and 12.
Yeah,
and he was out there balling. And these Magic, this Magic team just really be out there balling. I'm not gonna lie.
exactly.
And yeah, I gotta give credit to them. I mean, they beat this Pelicans team. A lot of effort, a lot of key possessions, a lot of clutch plays down the stretch. And yeah, in the end, they take the victory, beating this Pelicans team. A shocker, even though the Pelicans didn't have Zion or Bi.
Yeah, they didn't have it. It probably would have been. Well, I'm not going to disrespect because that's kind of disrespectful saying that if they was in the game, how it probably would have been a different outcome. But
sorry, Magic, we couldn't give y'all that. All right, we couldn't give y'all that. Y'all already beat that team right behind me, so we couldn't give y'all this too. Okay, yeah, Zion and Brandon Ingram. Also, Lonzo wasn't playing for the Pelicans.
Yeah,
just to mention that. Yeah, I still love to play how. I still love the way how this Magic team plays.
Yeah, but good job by Terrence Ross turning back the clock, look like as if he scored 51 back in Toronto. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I know Terrence Ross. I feel like he still should be a nominee for Sixth Man of the Year. I'm gonna keep saying that. He's really been great. He's been great for Orlando.
He's been great, but he in the starting lineup, so it's too late.
Now. Of course, he has to be the starting lineup now.
Oh, Kiki.
Stop. No disrespect on Kiki.
Sorry, my bad. But that was the really good games to go over for the night.
Matter of fact, Ross wasn't even in the starting lineup. He's still on the bench.
Oh, he's still on the bench?
Yes.
Oh, dang. He didn't look like it. He didn't look like it last night. He didn't look like it last night. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he doesn't play like a bench player because he's not a bench player.
Yeah.
He's a sixth man, but plays like a starter. He can start on teams. Two other games that happened around the league. Pistons blew out the Wizards. Wow.
Oh. What am gonna say? Wow.
Just 120-91. Jesus. Where's Bradley Beal? Where are you? They need you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you gotta hurry up and get back from that injury scare, man, because we really need you badly, man. Not the beg.
But yeah, Pistons blowing out the Wizards. Josh Jackson finished with team high 31, and he's been balling out for his Pistons team. So
yeah,
good job by him. Good job by the Pistons team getting the win, and the Sixers blowing out the Cavs 114-94.
Yeah.
But all right. Slow news as you know, No trade deadline.
Yeah.
No trades. The buyouts. Nothing's happening. So slow news. So let us get into the predictions for tonight's set of games. Pretty lengthy lineup and a pretty interesting lineup. First, starting off the Golden State Warriors going up against the Toronto Raptors, rematch of the 2019 finals.
Golden State.
Golden State. Toronto has been in a slump. The red hot Houston Rockets going up against the Boston Celtics. What you got?
I got Houston. Houston, this is for you.
Wait, what? Yeah, who?
I want to choose Houston. I'm gonna go on a limb and choose Houston, man.
All right. Anything can happen. What KG said, anything's possible. So you're right. It's possible. But I got the Celtics.
Yeah, look, let me tell you something. I know it ain't gonna end well, but if they were able to go up by a lot of points against the next team, and I know it didn't end well. Don't bring it up. But if they could go up by a lot of points against the next team, the way this Boston Celtics team has been playing, anything is truly and honestly possible.
You're right. First primetime game of the night, NBA TV 7:30. It is the Dallas Mavericks, Tim Hardaway and Kristaps Porzingis facing off against their former team, the New York Knicks.
I got the Mavericks.
And I have to agree with you that, sadly, as a Knicks fan. The Timberwolves going up against the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies. The Hornets going up against the Pacers.
Hornets.
Pacers. The Hawks going up against the Pelicans.
If Zion and BI are returning, I got the Pels.
Same. If not, I got the Hawks.
Yeah.
The Bulls going up against the 7-game win streak Utah Jazz.
I got the Jazz.
The Jazz. If the Bulls lose this game, they'll be 0-4 with Vucevic coming to the team.
Yeah.
It's been a little struggle. Hopefully they make
Hopefully
they get it going, Gotta adjust, it can take some time.
You said it right then and there.
Yeah, true. The Thunder going up against the Phoenix Suns. Suns. The next and last primetime game of the night of the doubleheader, NBA TV, 10 o'clock. The Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis, going up against the Portland Trailblazers, led by Damian Lillard.
I'm going to choose the Blazers.
This is tough. But I got the Bucks. And lastly, the defending champions and starless Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento.
Got the Kings as well. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
No.
No.
I wish I could think of something off the fly.
No. Don't have to force it. No problem. But all right. That being said, because my co-host is terrible. Thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this was Mind Basketball Podcast.
Okiki.